Rush Limbaugh and football. We talked last week that Rush Limbaugh was involved in an ownership group that wants to buy an NFL football team. And we talked last week about how several players said they're not really interested in playing for Rush Limbaugh because of some racially insensitive comments that he's made along the course of his career. Well, it turns out that St. Louis Blues chairman Dave Checketts, who's heading the group that wants to buy the St. Louis Rams, announced Limbaugh's official exit from the bid. It's believed that Limbaugh's controversial participation would have doomed the group's effort in the eyes of NFL owners. League sources said that Limbaugh's candidacy has a 0 chance of being approved by league owners, that they just wouldn't approve it. Many players said they wouldn't play for him. I was thinking, I don't believe players would really skip out. If he buys the team, knowing that the average NFL career is a few years and most players in that time will not earn enough money to be set for life by any means, I think they would maybe oppose it. And if Rush Limbaugh takes over, they will take the paycheck and they will never mention it again.
I don't know. I think they'd probably stand by it.
I really do not think they would. I think the way it would happen is they would say something, Rush Limbaugh would come on, there would be a press conference where they would say they've talked to Rush Limbaugh and are satisfied after speaking to him that he is a nice guy, he's not a racist. They will collect their paychecks, and that will be the end of it.
Maybe some, but I bet you a lot of them would refuse to play. And you know what? Any decent player, they'll refuse to play. They'll get released by the team, and another team will pick them up. It's not like their career's over. Because
I'm talking about the players that aren't that great, that aren't going to make the money in 2 or 3 years.
People on the bench, maybe.
They're not going to be set for life after 2 years. They'll have no choice. And realistically, those are the players that will just keep their mouth shut, I think.
Well, if you need the job and you have nothing else, maybe it would be in your best interest and your family's best interest just to keep your mouth shut.
Well, Ann Coulter says that NFL players would rather play for Limbaugh than George Soros, a Nazi collaborator who apparently is connected to this Dave Checketts. Let's take a listen to what she said recently on the Sean Hannity show.
But in any event, I would wager that a fair number of the players would agree more with Rush Limbaugh's politics than with George Soros's politics.
Yeah.
I mean, not for nothing. A lot of them are Christians, point one. Point two, and I mean real Christians, Christ Christians. And point two, they make a lot of money. I don't know that they like all these tax and spend plans of the Democrats. So I wouldn't hold it against the players.
I just want to know.
Wussy owners.
I want to know if Dave Checketts now is going to tell Soros to take a hike. Maybe that's the next question. Maybe somebody needs to ask the NFL if they want George Soros to be a part owner. If this is the world we live in.
And admitted...
Right? Go ahead.
Right, and he's an admitted Nazi collaborator. He pointed out who the Jews were in Hungary when he was 15 years old. He admitted that to Steve Kroft on TV. The transcripts are all over the internet.
Okay, so Ann Coulter really going out on a limb here with a bizarre discussion on the Sean Hannity show. Couple of racist incidents to talk about. Here's one. An Illinois teacher said to his students, "How would you like your tax dollars going to pay black fags?" And that's a quote. This is a Geneva high school teacher who's being accused of making anti-gay and racist comments in his classroom. His name is Dave Burke. He teaches consumer education. He made the comments on October 5th during a lecture about tax money involving the National Endowment for the Arts. And he said, "How would you feel about your tax dollars going to pay some black fag in New York to take pictures of other black fags?" Burke allegedly asked, according to a student, that and many other questions. According to his attorney, he never meant to offend anyone, and he's really, really sorry if he did. Mr. Burke is cooperating with the principal and the school board. Mr. Burke's biggest problem is he doesn't want to intentionally offend anybody. He doesn't care about offending anybody in passing. He just doesn't want to intentionally offend anyone. The man who reported Burke to the school administration is calling for his firing. Absolutely rightly so. The best lesson, Lewis, that could be learned here is that saying this type of stuff in the classroom is unacceptable and that the guy's going to go and he'll probably never teach again. If you want to call the principal of the school to give him your thoughts, nicely, of course, his name is Thomas Rogers. The number is 630-463-3800. Feel free to give the principal of that school a call.